keep livestock in the city or in an apartment, can you? G'day folks, Andy here from McDowell Manor. So Shed Wars got me thinking about another tip. We've talked about composting, we've talked about getting your perennials or your fruit trees and the like in early. So let's tackle the next big myth: you can't keep livestock in the city. Well, we've got chickens. I've got 5 chickens. Never short of eggs, don't have to buy eggs, we're egg self-sufficient. The pros of chickens are they're bloody easy to look after. I'm actually surprised how easy. They largely look after themselves. They turn a lot of my waste food scraps into chicken poo, which is fantastic compost. So yes, there's one you can keep. The disadvantage is they're probably the roomiest in terms of the amount of space they need. So I've got them. They come out for a wander around the backyard, and we don't have a very big backyard, you might recall. So you're looking at probably 3 or 4 metre coop that they have. They can wander around that all day. That old doghouse there is where they're put to bed at night for roosting, and that's where they lay their eggs. So yeah, of course you can keep a few chickens subject to your local government authority rules. The next thing I keep in a similar vein to the chickens, no it's not statues, although I do have a few of them, is quail. Now these are the Japanese or Aquaponics quail. Mine happen to be the jumbos. Now jumbo, you can see, is not very jumbo. And you wouldn't know they're jumbos unless you compared them to normal Aquaponics quails. You'd see they're a little bit bigger. So I use them for eggs. If you've got a bit of fortitude, you can use them for meat. In fact, we tend to cull down the males because they're nasty little buggers and they really do some damage to each other and the girls. They're also incredibly easy to look after. The only issue, like I say, is you probably do need to get rid of some males periodically. These birds are wonderful in terms of space. So you're looking at probably less than a metre by about 1.5 metres long. So, and they're quite happy to stay in their cages. So on each, I've got a 3-level coop. On each, I wouldn't put more than about 4 or 5 birds in each cage. Though I let them out occasionally. Most people can't. I just happen to have extraordinarily high fencing, so yes, they ain't going nowhere. Otherwise, leave them in the cage. They're perfectly happy, like I say. Cons are only if you want to breed them. Now, they will occasionally sit their own eggs, but not very often. I do it with an incubator. That's how I keep my stocks going. So largely they pay for themselves. I mention this because I know I'm going to get a lot of hate mail, but another similar animal that you can keep in a fairly small cage is guinea pigs. Guinea pigs, like the quails, you use their poop. The quails provide eggs that I eat. I love their eggs. And they're really, for me, they're a regular layer. So I'll get at least 5 eggs a day. Guinea pigs you can also, and here's the hate mail, you can also use for meat. I've seen it done. They tend to cook them in a sandwich toaster, believe it or not. But there's several countries in the world that eat guinea pig on a regular basis. So please don't hate on me. Right, but I hear you saying, Andy, I don't even have room for that cage. Well, I'd be surprised. Even in an apartment, surely you could fit a cage on. But let's pretend you're right. Or the council won't let you keep birds, or your unit owner won't let you keep birds. You can always, and this is a very small space requirement. Look at that. And that's my worm farm. I'll just take the rocks off the top and give you a look. So I've got compost worms in there. You can see I throw any old manky food goes in there as well. The worms eat all that up, and you're looking at black gold in terms of your worm poop. Fantastic stuff. Sometimes I'll use it directly, sometimes I'll include it in the compost. So it's a good way to cut down on your garbage output, and easy as you do nothing except harvest the juice and use their poop. There's another livestock for you. So I farm fish in an aquaponics setup. In theory, I'll give you the quick rundown. The fish are in that big wooden tank there. The dirty water from them gets pumped up into the grow beds, and that's what powers the mint and the herbs and the veggies and stuff. Does a marvellous job, as you can see. Now, you don't need to use edible fish. It just so happens, I'm not sure you'll be able to see them. I used a native species called jade perch, which well and truly get, no you can't see them, which well and truly get to an edible size, and we'll eat them. Good eating, they're a lovely tasting fish because the water's always so clean. There's none of that muddiness that you get from freshwater fish. But that's another way you could raise livestock. The cons of that is it's probably the trickiest of all of the livestock that I keep. Now mine self-manages really very nicely, so I only clean the filters out probably once a week, feed the fish once a day, and that's it. But if things go hell west and crooked in terms of your water quality, it can get a little bit technical. Then you got to know how to measure the quality of the water, what the different measurements mean, and how to rectify the problem. And you see those little black bugs crawling around there? They're Australian native stingless bees. So we actually keep bees too. You can see there's a couple of more hives over here. Yes, we do extract honey from them. They require virtually no work at all, which is wonderful. Honey's beautiful. The cons are you can lose hives pretty quick if something goes wrong. So for example, I've had swarming bees. I presume you can see all the little guys swarming around. Now I'm not sure what's bringing that on, and I'm going to in fact have to open that hive and investigate, but that doesn't happen very often. They're not annoying, they're no work. Australian bees don't give as much honey as the European honeybees, but the advantage is ours don't sting, so there's no chance they're going to cause anybody some any grief. So as you can see, yes folks, just because you could have one hive on a balcony easily, and they're fun to watch. So hopefully that's given you some ideas. If you've also had that myth that says, no, I can't possibly have livestock, I'm hoping that'll get you to question that myth. If you enjoy these sort of videos, feel free to hit the subscribe button to the channel. Hit the bell so you find out when we get a new video up. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen today. Hopefully it's caused you to think a little bit about what you could keep. Alright folks, you have a good one, eh? Leave you with one little salutary, you like that word? Good word, eh? Salutary note. Uncle Marky from Eaton's Hill once said to me, Andy, if you've got livestock, you're gonna have dead stock. You just can't avoid it. And I'm afraid it's certainly true. It upsets me when I lose birds and stuff, or a hive. I get very upset. So if you can't cope with the odd, the odd loss, maybe livestock's not for you.